for lawyers' fees, at the very least. They're not patriots. They're fools. They're fools with a capital F. There's ways to change things in this country. And storming the Capitol building is not the way it's done. It's never worked. It happens quite often in some countries. It works quite often in some countries. There's an election going on right now in Uganda, okay? And it might work in Uganda because it's a military dictatorship where the elections are truly fixed. And I don't want to get emails saying, well, Strong, this election was fixed, because it was not fixed. And if you think it was fixed, tell me who fixed it. And by who, I want a name. I don't want the deep state. I don't want the Illuminati. I don't want the DNC, because the DNC doesn't have enough power in this country to fix an election. Okay? So the election was not fixed. The Republicans lost. The Democrats won. The reason that Joe Biden won the election is because the Republicans ran Donald Trump. Just like in 2016, Donald Trump won the election because the Democrats ran Hillary Clinton. If you run a better candidate, you're going to win. So, the people who said, oh my God, this is horrible, we must storm the Capitol building to bring back our rights because we're now going to live under socialism. This is a communist country. They've removed our rights. We can't. Stop it. Stop it. You live in the United States of America. I don't know any of those people who stormed the Capitol building, but I will bet you $1 to a donut that not one of them was hurting financially. Not one of them didn't have a wonderful life, a fantastic life, plenty of money, plenty of stuff, plenty of friends, good jobs. A disproportionate amount of them were pretty fat, so they certainly had enough food, okay? None of these people were hurting. None of these people were victims. I don't know what they were looking for, but that's not my concern. They'll have their day in court. But the reason I mention this is I like to use the term first world problems. And we have a lot of first world problems in this country. And it's the reason that I don't play the lottery. Now, why don't I play the lottery? Well, I don't play the lottery, folks, because I've already won the lottery once, okay? And that's enough. By the way, you, dear listener, have won the lottery as well. That is if you live in the United States of America or even most Western countries, okay? You've won the lottery. You have so much opportunity. You have so much potential. And you don't have to work 17 hours a day, 7 days a week to realize that potential, because you were born in the United States of America. And in many parts of the West, it's the same thing. So my podcast today, and I hope you've heard it before. If you haven't, I think you're going to enjoy it. It's Professor Strong's Recipe for Success. Now, if you do these 6 things and live in the United States of America, I guarantee you will succeed. And by succeed, I don't mean you're going to get by and not starve, okay? Because if you do nothing in this world and live in the United States, you're going to get by and not starve. Nobody in this country is starving to death. Nobody. Sure, we have a lot of homeless, and I would say the vast majority of those homeless either elect to be homeless just because that's the way they are, or they have mental illnesses and don't understand how to not be homeless, or in many cases, they're just down on their luck. And things do happen to people. And there's many, many social agencies, private and public, who can help these people out. Please believe me when I say if you do these 6 things, the 6 Professor Strong's Recipe for Success bullet points, you will be very successful in this country. Very successful. Number 1, get a high school diploma. I didn't say a college degree. I didn't say a master's degree. I didn't say a doctorate. Get a high school diploma. That's it. Stay in school till you're 17 or 18 years old. That's all you've got to do. It's 12 years of school. Because if you have a high school diploma, you can get so many fantastic jobs, okay? And most important, because secondary education, I think, is necessary in this country, either formal or informal secondary education. Because once you have a high school diploma, and even the poor schools, you're going to come out of there knowing some stuff, okay? You got the piece of paper that says I can add, subtract, multiply, divide, okay? You do need secondary education, but often it doesn't have to be a college degree, although you can get a college degree. Nothing wrong with that. It could be an associate's degree from a community college, which doesn't cost much at all. It can be a professional degree, a nursing degree, or something like that. You can get a nursing degree without a college diploma if you want. Or you can go to trade school, which is what I did. I learned a trade. I went to trade school at night. And friends, there's lots of skilled trades out there. Tech jobs that pay very, very well. Much more than many jobs that require a degree. And there's a shortage of skilled labor. I would say there has been a shortage of skilled labor for most of my working career. When I first got into the trades, I was 18, okay? And at that time, it wasn't so much that there was a shortage, but when I got into the trades 43 years ago, okay, here's what they were saying. You know, the vast majority of the guys out there who are skilled tradesmen, they're getting older and they're getting ready to retire. The World War II vets were on the verge of retirement. So sometime in the near future, we're going to have a problem with skilled trades. And that was correct. Within 10 years, there was a big problem. Today, there's still a huge problem with skilled trades. Machinist trades, plumbers, electricians, heavy equipment operators. These guys and gals are paid a bunch of money. And I say guys and gals because more and more women are getting into these trades. And the reason being is there's no reason a woman can't get into this trade. So don't give me the excuse, well, yeah, I can't be a machinist or I can't be a heavy equipment operator because I'm a woman and I can't lift the heavy stuff. You don't have to do that anymore. There's not a ton of heavy lifting involved in many of the skilled trades, mainly because the employers don't want people throwing out their backs. There's mechanical assist devices that are used quite often in these trades, and more women are getting into them. Why? Because they see that they pay very well. So, step number 1 of the 6 steps to Professor Strong's Recipe for Success, get a high school diploma. You don't even necessarily have to get a skilled trade, but that is very helpful. Number 2, do not have children out of wedlock. Now, that seems easy. That seems simple. And I know a lot of people do, and they turn out great, the kids and the adults, and that's fine. But if you have a child out of wedlock, forget about the psychological damage that you will cause the child. And please understand what I mean by that. Every study I've ever seen says a child does much better when he lives in a home with the mother and the father. Now, that please don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that if a child lives in the home without a mother or a father, that child is damned. I don't mean that at all. But the child has a much better chance of success if they live in a home with their mother and their father. Now, besides that psychological damage that you have with the child, okay, the woman who you're no longer with, that you had the child with, if you're a man, friend, you will be writing that woman who you now hate or despise or at least dislike, you will be writing her a check every month for the next 18 to 25 years. Think about that. Think about that. It's tough to get ahead when you're writing a check for 18 to 25 years. Now, if you're a woman, you're not writing the check probably, although sometimes the man keeps the kid and the woman writes the check. I know that happens sometimes, but not usually. If you're a woman, you now have to care for this kid, and you're a single mom. So you got to find daycare and raise the kid by yourself. That's difficult, very difficult. So step number 2 in Professor Strong's Recipe for Success, do not have children out of wedlock. Number 3, stay away from illegal drugs. They're expensive. They'll fry your mind. They land you in jail because they're illegal. And by the way, if you do get caught and you are arrested, you have to go to court, lawyers are very expensive. Very, very expensive. Okay? And oh yeah, if you have a illegal drug conviction and you go to jail, that doesn't look good on your record. It's tough to get a job. And if you just say, I just use some recreational drugs and it's no big deal. You do know the most good jobs make you pee in a cup first. Okay? I can't tell you how many times I've personally known of cases where you have a candidate for a job who is very qualified and they're on the cusp of being hired. And all they have to do is pee in the cup, pass, and they're hired. And they will have a wonderful job. And this doesn't happen because they either pee in the cup and fail or they ghost the potential employer. And I'm sure it's because they knew they couldn't pee in a cup. So you thought that taking recreational drugs was going to be a whole lot better than having a great job. Step number 3 in Professor Strong's Recipe for Success, stay away from illegal drugs. Step number 4 kind of is related to step number 3. Stay out of jail. And I don't just mean for illegal drugs. I mean for anything. Stay out of jail. I would say that the knotheads who stormed the Bastille last week, if they thought that they were oppressed then, they're screwed now because they're going to have to put out a lot of money for lawyers. And if convicted, they're going to spend a lot of time in jail. And many of these guys and gals were not young people. If you take a 45-year-old man who has to empty his 401k for a lawyer and then gets convicted and serves 10 years in prison, he's now, the trial will probably last 3 years. So he's now 58 years old, out of prison, with a felony conviction, no money, and has to get a job and rebuild at age 58. Good luck with that. And by the way, when you're in jail, you don't earn money. You cannot earn money when you're in jail. And once you get out of jail, it's really hard to get a good job when you get out. Now, you can say if that's right, wrong, or indifferent. I personally think that it's wrong. I think that if somebody has been to jail, served their time, and come out, it shouldn't matter. But it does. That's a fact. Forget about the way things should be. That's a fact. You need to stay out of jail. So, Professor Strong's number 4 point in having a recipe for success, stay out of jail. Number 5, if you get married, stay married. Now, I will tell you that marriage isn't for everyone. Personally, I've been truly blessed with my dear wife. I met the right person. We got married. We had a family. We have a wonderful life together. If you find the right person, it's wonderful. Everybody doesn't find the right person. Everybody's not cut out to be married, okay? And that's fine. But if you make the decision to get married, you need to stay married. It's a commitment, okay? Legally, it's a contract, okay? That's why you just can't say, Okay, we're divorced and you run off. Okay, unless you're